Hello. In this video I want to show you how to run a Docker container with Ollama and TinyLlama. This will be to generate your local AI improvement ideas generator. The system saves ideas into a markdown document, a markdown file, or multiple files, and it can be automated with a cron job to continuously produce new suggestions. This is just based for continuous improvement. And the number of ideas that you can schedule can go in different areas, whether it's going to be marketing, legal, safety, production, IT, cybersecurity, you name it. This is a very representative image on that. Oracle Linux is going to be your host. Debian is going to be the hosted environment. Docker is going to be the containerization platform in this video. Ollama is going to be the program that is going to give us the ability to run an LLM model. The TinyLlama is going to be the model we're going to be choosing, and the reason for that is just because a roadblock in the capacity on the memory and resources. You see it during the video. We're going to using some AI declarative prompts to actually spec the format the way we want it. I want to have the markdown and schedule it. So let's go ahead and get started. So again, this is a hosted in VirtualBox. My laptop is running VirtualBox, and then it's actually running Virtual Debian. You'll see it in a second. Debian is running Docker to containerize. I'm containerizing Ollama, and Ollama is actually the program that I'm using to run the LLM model. TinyLlama is actually the preferred choice just because the constraints on hardware. We're using shell scripts to actually interact directly with Ollama and then eventually work old-fashioned standard input, standard output, and standard error. Old school Unix, old school shell scripting. So we're gonna be all on that. The prompt generator, we're going to have some prompts, some specifications on how you want to get those continuous improvement documents for you. And we're going to using the markdown style so we can be exported, put it really manageable for Git repos, documentation as a code, things like that can help, and eventually can massage and work on those documents. We're going to be leveraging the cron feature on Linux to actually have scheduled timers and things like that. And this video is actually created with Software Share X. So with all that out of the way, let's go ahead and get started. The first thing I want to show here is actually my Linux. Is actually the virtual machine. Of course, is running almost nothing in terms of the just Portainer a while back. So what I want to do is at this point, just classic, we want to be following the same path that we've been doing in the videos. We want to start with the Docker Compose. So in that case, okay, we have it. Cool. So basically, it's running Ollama, very simple. I really like this part that is using my home directory to keep the models, because we really don't have to start spending more space on the hard drive, because once we do it, we can use another project or another model to use it, and then we have to, as you can see, was downloaded. Docker Compose logs is looking good, so we can really test it and see. Well, actually, we can execute interactively and just pull TinyLlama. It's already been pulled, so it detected that it's there. In your case, it might take a little time to download. It's just it's about not huge, but it's a good size. Even Llama 3 is about 4 gigs, so I'm gonna do a little quick test. And Docker exec interactive Ollama run TinyLlama, just hello, and here's on the CLI directly TinyLlama responding us how it's doing. It's absolutely, here's an updated version, your message that includes AI, the proper human, helpful AI system, dear AI, and it's actually answering right now. TinyLlama is actually doing the response, which is great. So TinyLlama is working, Ollama is working. This is a good testimony that actually this is working. If you have a bigger system, more RAM, you can download another model. You could download Llama 3 or some other larger models. Of course, the mileage will vary in terms of RAM. All the systems are, but this is only an 8 gig laptop in RAM, so for me it's okay. Just kind of get this proof of concept. But this was just the first prompt. We validated actually this run fine. So let's go ahead and get to the tiny of this video. One of the things, I want to make a folder or directory here for created scripts, mkdir scripts, nothing fancy there. And then actually I want to copy some of the get ideas folder. Let's go to that and be a script get ideas. So basically what this is actually a script that right here is going to be the prompt. It's going to have the prompt that is going to say, I want, for the continuous improvement, I want to generate 10-point improvement plan for a specific topic. I want to get the current state, the problem or the root cause, the objectives, the recommended actions. I want to get the impact and priority, the dependencies and assumptions, the implementation plan, the risk and mitigation, the validation monitoring, and the document and handoff to actually achieve this. It has some kind of getters and setters, some conditions in the script. Pretty straightforward, but that's about it. That's all it is. It's not even 118 lines of code. So we have it right there. That's the only thing we have right now. If I do 3, you can see actually we just get ideas. It uses another complementary file to actually create some of the scripts, which is actually the my LLM message. Let's take a look and take a deep dive on what that does. My LLM, and basically what it does is actually on execution is going to give us the ability to start kind of reading exactly the inputs. It's going to give us the ability to read file or write file. This is something in the future I like to see, the ability to read some files and take as a context. Everything's local, nothing's on the cloud, everything's local, and then eventually do something to actually execute some actions, right? The case is going to be read, write files or something, and it's going to be the helper that is going to interact, if you want to think about it, the super glue that is going to interact between the CLI connecting to the model, getting some answers, and eventually based on the answers execute and do something. So now that we have it, let's go ahead and give it a shot. We can actually do scripts, get ideas. And if I just do it like that, it's not going to work because it's going to tell me that I need to use something like read file or grab a file. Now, if I want to grab a file, that's fine. That's just great. Let's say I want to do YouTube, that markdown. And the question is going to be, how can I improve my rankings on YouTube? Something that I want to notice before I check this out, I want to put htop here, and you see I put extra memory, extra CPUs, 8 CPUs on the RAM that I'm running. As soon as I kick this search, which actually is TinyLlama, you'll be able to see that the CPU goes flatline. Look at that. Incredibly power of the neural networks, all the processing, even if it's TinyLlama, even if it's 8 cores or virtual cores, if you want to think about it, it's not really hardware, but it's virtualized, it's pretty fast. I don't even see this sometimes compiling the Linux kernel. I mean, this can really show you the huge amount of processing that actually large language models on, and this is not a large one, this is a tiny one, right? Will really doing crunching the numbers, the context, the size, and actually, of course, depending on those resources, that acceleration, that CPU, that's what is going to give you the results. As you can see on the left side, you see running and using the helper LLMSH, because it's reading the prompt, the 10-step prompt for the improvement on how, in this case, the question was how to improve YouTube videos. My assumption is the TinyLlama model knows what YouTube is, knows what actually can improve and what I'm talking about. It needs to read and understand the context on the 10 prerequisites and that I'm putting as improvement, it generates the output on those points and save it into a file. That's all what it's doing right now. And as you can see, it's going flatline. If it's actually your machine, of course, it can have more RAM. You always want to be RAM hungry, can continue working. But right now, it's like almost like a database. It really is eating as much as it reminds me the old days on the databases. Oracle wants to run as much as RAM as he can. He's RAM hungry. Here we go, and you can see immediately the CPU dropped down here. So I'm gonna stop that. I'm gonna come back here, and you can see. Let's go ahead and drive to this. Let's go ahead and take a look real quick. It says that the file get actually saved on data on YouTube MD as instructed. The instruction increase, it provided the title expression, and this is the output on the file. So let's take a look here. Let's go to data, and sure enough, there's actually a file, and here is actually what I actually got. And notice maybe because the tiny model, it didn't make 10, it makes 7. In an earlier exercise prior to this video, it makes 10. So anyway, it's a small model, don't expect it to be perfect, but the proof of concept is here. Instruction increase can be detailed explanation, questions, recognize what is there, outline expect impact, identify potential, explain validation. Anyway, this is what actually gives us as an input, a suggestion. It was suggestion number 1, which is great. But for now, what if we raise the bar? What about if we take now the more ideas, more scripts, and something like actually we can really expand this one. One of the things, as you saw, there was some requirements. There was some requirements on. I was in the wrong folder. I just copied the 4 files: the cron get ideas, legal, marketing, safety, and just the ideas in general. It's actually the cron get ideas. The purpose of the cron jobs compared to the get ideas is the get ideas requires me to put a file name. If I want to run a cron job, I don't want to do that. I want to be able to do, and let's take a look. Let's say if I do vi cron and get ideas, well, actually it's a scripts, right? Get ideas sh. Now I don't have the constraint to actually be able to actually, yes, I can use the type. I can use the type or initiative type, and I can have the example, but also I can see that I'm creating a timestamp, so actually I don't have to start worrying about overlapping the same name or creating something automatically. When this runs behind the scenes as a cron job, it would generate the bash file. It's going to generate the timestamp. It's going to generate something, and it's going to create it. So I can do one per hour, and eventually in 24 hours you put your machine working on 8 hours work. You can just work and have some ideas. In this case, likewise, let's take a look for the marketing just real quick. VS scripts, cron marketing, and if I take a look on marketing, basically what it's telling me is actually what it's going to be executing the script is going to be on the type marketing, which is going to be part of the idea marketing, and the timestamp is going to be the prefix on markup document, and it's actually going to be generating the idea on the idea that I want to be adding. The prompt, if it's actually not presented, is going to be please generate an improvement idea for marketing. That's what it is. I don't have to actually do it, and because it's part of the cron, let's see and kick it off and see if we can kick it off right now. I know if I run it, it will, but let's see. It's 8:53, so maybe at 54 it will kick in. Let's go ahead and put our top, and let's go to data. 2 seconds and less. Okay, there's a YouTube video. It's an 8:54. Should be sort of start kicking in shortly. Look at that, the cron job kick in. If we go to Docker logs, we'll be able to see what it's doing. Again, I had a flat line. I put a cron job at 54 minutes. When doing that, so it kicks the cron job, which is the shell script that we put for marketing. Again, we see the flat line. We see a lot of things on Ollama Runner. Is doing a lot of things, trying to get and compile and crush all those numbers. This is actually the more you have, the more processes you have. If you have something, be conscious about how you schedule your cron jobs, how you put those things, because it can be every minute, every 2 minutes, every 5 minutes. I mean, in this case, I think best practices, you want to put a stress on that one maybe every hour if you want to do something that you're running 24/7, or if you want to be running locally in your laptop, such as I'm doing. Maybe at the times you're working, if you have 8 hours, you can do every hour. You get a possible recommendations on improvement on a particular subject or topic. Or if you want to do every 30 minutes, you can do 16 a day in an 8-hour shift. Potentially you're going to get a bunch of markup document files. And what you can do, again, this is just the first proof of concept. It could be another shell script. Remember, we're following the philosophy of shell scripting. Little bitty things, little scripts that do the things well. It's not like a huge compiled version that everything does magically and everything works. It's a small little tiny scripts that does the things that they do well. They can be really troubleshoot easily. They can be really just doing one task, but that task it does it well, and you just put it like Legos concatenating together and get everything good. Standard input, standard output, and standard error all together as one happy family. All the Legos build together, one on top of another one. But once you have all those, and you have a bunch of markup document files, probably another cron job could actually go in a particular script to go to this particular folder and then merge all those documents for the area, the topic that you're doing, whichever is going to be cybersecurity, IT, marketing, legal, safety, you name it, and then generate a summary, a table summary, maybe sorted by priority, and eventually give you what's going to be the best things to pay attention, to bring it in a little weekly meeting or a board to evaluate options. The other thought that I had was maybe some kind of in this script, some kind of short-term memory that actually another script does a summary or a high-level summary of what is the topics that has been talking about. So when you ask a generic task to the LLM, generate an idea of how can you improve marketing, it already knows what is being suggested and eventually starts suggesting something that has not been suggested before. That will be really cool. That will avoid duplicity and put a lot of things. Okay, another pre-work have that one. It's a standard input on a file. This is the files having created, and maybe one of the prompts says do not duplicate some of the efforts. And anyway, always continuous improvement, always trying to get things better. Now, the other thing on getting data entry as an input, it will be another use cases. Maybe you want to analyze some data. Maybe you have some logs from the IT system. Maybe you have some. But I wouldn't go that big with a Splunk or something, but some logs. But maybe you have some particular trends in terms of availability or delays or some issues that eventually you want to get the LLM model to read or learn, and eventually based on that give you some recommendations. That will be an option to improve, to actually read the file, take that one, take the prompt. Maybe you have to change the prompt and do something, but at the end of the day, take the magic. Take advantage of the AI in your favor to improve different areas, to show some value, and eventually give some guidelines, help something, and eventually, because all those files are markup documents, can actually be stored as something that actually some efforts to get things better, right? The beauty about this is like you're not gonna have to send all those files, all the data, all those queries, all those activities now to the internet or some kind of a cloud provider. This is actually running in your machine locally, querying locally. At this point, there's no rack functionality in this case. It could be, yes, it could be something with some kind of a wget, Python, some kind of parsing, but eventually go there and get some side and just kind of convert that one into JSON to actually have some input context is possible, yes, but it's, again, this is just a proof of concept, just kind of TinyLlama, just running locally. There's some cron, get some prompts, and start generating some ideas. This is just the beginning, but the project can be extended. That might be something that it might be worth it to have another project, open source project, to actually get some of those things moving with the simplicity of about 118 lines shell script, maybe a couple of those 200 lines, and eventually one model, Llama TinyLlama, and everything works locally, nothing else. And of course, yes, there's some stress when you're crunching numbers. As you can see, it takes some time to actually do some of that. I'll be looking forward. This one was started automatically from the cron job. It was untouched. And if we leave it like every hour, it's going to execute the same thing every hour, and you see the patterns on your host, on your CPU, the flatline CPU, and in this case, Ollama runner doing a bunch of things. Eventually, when the CPU in this flatline reduces and just kind of clears the job, we should expect to have a created file right there on the next to the YouTube. And of course, if it's in a cron, it's going to repeat later over and over, right? The only thing that needs to be improved is just going to be the duplicity of the files of the recommendations, but that could be another subject for another video. As you can see, things are moving. It's taking some time, definitely a little more than I thought, but I guess it's doing something. There is. Look at that. If it just finishes, I want to stop here. It has the idea marketing, which I want to do Control C on this one. So there is, and via idea marketing. Look at that, instructions. Drafting a detailed improvement plan for marketing. Please refer to the given material, current state, X company, whatever the company, process systems. It's talking about the majority, some key issues, the campaign, return of investments, two-time marketing, the problem root cause, the objectives. It's a markup document. We have the recommended actions. We have the impact priority, the dependencies, assumptions. And yeah, it did what it was expected. Again, did 7 in this case. In the other ones, I see doing 2. So that's what I wanted to show you. If this actually cron job, if you put it like every hour, like it will be executed and just kind of give you, if it's 24/7, 24 files, and eventually you can just work with those. Pretty cool stuff. I just wanted to go ahead and share that with you guys. Hopefully you'll like it. Again, it's just limitation on the hardware, the acceleration with the TinyLlama. But if you have a bigger system than the one I have 8 gigs on the laptop, and think about it in that one, Oracle, VirtualBox, on top of that Debian, on top of that Ollama, on top of that TinyLlama, and on top of that just kind of crunching all this, and that's what you saw. If you have a bigger system and you're going to hardware, you definitely can do something like this better. Give in the comments if you like it, and maybe we schedule another follow-up on this one, or maybe just extend it to some other ventures. Thank you. Have a great day.